Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Gamestack Podcast. I'm Shalene, and joining me is Vendertron
Welcome, sir or madam.
and Rick McVick.
Hi! How's everyone doing tonight?
Guys, I'm so happy that we're here doing a podcast. I feel like it's been a while. It's only been a week, but it feels like longer.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys doing? Did you have a good week?
I was on a work trip all week, and I am so happy to be home, you guys. So
Yeah.
happy to be home. Yeah.
That's good.
It's been a week. I just need to get through February.
Yeah.
It's February 1st, and I'm already like freaking out.
Yeah. January was a tough year, but we made
January
it.
was a tough year.
And it's
It
day
is.
one. Day one.
Oh man, this week was hard, guys. It was a tough week for me. I'm glad it's over. Yeah, but we're gonna have a great weekend. We have a really great weekend planned, starting right here on Friday night with Gamestack Podcast. And tomorrow, Rick and I are going to be doing a fabulous thing. Do you want to tell the people, Rick?
We are going to do our very first horror stream. I guess it's not our first, but we're going to do one.
It's the first one in a long time.
It is the first one in a long time. And I picked up Resident Evil 2's remake. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Mountain,
Right.
we are going to stream some Resident Evil 2. I'll be driving, and Shalene will be crying.
Exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be the best kind of train wreck. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
It's so much more brutal than I remember in the past. Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm so glad you're driving, though. I'm so glad you're driving. I
would
get
just be
so
hauling the
scared
car.
in these games. I get so scared. And Sunday, what is going to happen on Sunday, Vendor?
On Sunday, Shalene and I are going to be doing we're bringing back dun, 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 Days of Our Life is Strange.
Like sands through the hourglass, so
Are the
So
days of our
loud.
life is strange.
I'll turn it down before the stream.
It wasn't loud for me. I can't hear you guys at all.
No?
Really?
Turn your
But,
headphones up.
Days of Our Life is Strange, episode 2, coming to your ear holes on Sunday at 1 p.m.
Also-
You've got a smidge quiet there, Vendor.
Yeah.
Yes, but we are very excited for all of these weekend shenanigans. It's going to be great fun, and we hope you can join us for those live recordings. If you're not able to join us, we'll be sure to get those videos posted to YouTube, so you can either view the Twitch archive or the YouTube archive, whichever one you prefer to use. If you're watching us live today, go ahead and give us a host on Twitch. If you're not, tell your friends, share the show, post us on your social media. Help the show grow and blossom into the game stack that we all hope it will someday become.
Into the domain of disorder you always wished it could be.
Exactly. So guys, before we start the show, there's something that we always like to do. We like to thank people who leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, because that is something that really helps us out in terms of visibility of the show and helping us reach a new audience. So who do we have to thank this week, Vendor?
I don't know, because I don't have the show notes up.
Really? Rick, do you want to do the 5-star review shoutouts?
Maybe I should just let this go on. Just awkward silence until Vendor gets it. No, our 5-star review shoutouts. From the US, we've got Swampman0110. And he says, This is the first podcast I've ever listened to. I am now a dedicated fan and wait patiently, for each new show. The most genuine crew of hosts makes this show feel like I'm watching old friends rather than distant strangers. Well, we are certainly glad to be your first. And from Great Britain, we have
You made it
RTZ.
weird, Rick. You made it weird.
What do you expect? What do you honestly expect from me? It to be normal? Me not to take things down a dirty, dirty path?
It will never be normal.
Never. So if you want normalcy, fire me. Anyway, from Great Britain, RTZ13. I don't think I can turn this into anything. So Great gaming podcast from a magical band of vault dwellers. Can't stop listening and replaying. If you don't like strangers looking you If you don't like strangers looking you weirdly when giggling in the queue at the counter, got it. Listen alone. All the best from UK Tibble, aka RTZ13.
Thank you, Rick.
And that's it.
Thank you to our 5-star reviewers for this week. We really appreciate that. And I believe Vendor put this in. Let's do a little happy welcome to the new people who joined the Discord recently. There've actually been, I think, a bunch more than this. I think we've had about a good dozen in the past week or so.
This was updated on Monday.
So.
Do you have your show notes up? Do you want to roll through them, Vendor?
Yes. So we've got a bunch of new people, and if I missed you, because I did the show notes on Monday, we will shout you out on the next episode of Gamestack Podcast or that Fallout show. We have Laughing Tuna number 3. We hope you brought your pizza. Fallout Fan 32, as the prophecy has foretold us, has come into the Discord. Remy, not the Denton, and also 701 Slick, who has spawned into the Discord as well. If you would like to join the Discord server, which is the busiest place for the WJLG community, you can just tweet at us and we'll send you the link, or you can ask for it in the chat if you're coming in live and we'll just pop it in there for you as well. But that's typically the best place to be for all things happening. And if you want to get yourself involved in some of the giveaways that we have going on throughout any of the shows, randomly, no giveaways this evening though, that is the best way to get yourself on the sweepstakes list.
By the way, I just did a quick count, and by my math, we just passed 200 people's.
Hey.
Wow, that's fantastic.
There we go.
That's Discord. I thought we had a giveaway tonight.
Well, I have them, but I'm not prepared because it's
Oh.
been a little bit of a day, Rick.
Okay, so we'll just
There's
backspace.
No giveaways.
Backspace.
no giveaways. None. But that doesn't mean you should stop listening.
So thanks, guys. We don't have a giveaway, but we do have news, gameplay, game stock, and some emails. It's fantastic. We're all ready to go. We're gonna start off with some news. Sorry about the volume there for the news. It's a bit loud. I'll fix that. But February, it is February, as we have mentioned. And that means new video games. There were a ton of them in the list this month. So I cut out a bunch. But Rick, would you like to read the ones that we have left?
I look forward to this.
I look forward to your pronunciations. It's my
it
favorite
always
thing.
goes so bad. I'm going to cough real quick.
Okay.
All right. So, starting off on the 1st of February, we've got the Anthem game, free demo though. So it's not the full game, but the free demo of Anthem for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One is available February 1st, which is tonight. Today, actually. The Occupation and Odyssey Nexus come out February 5th. Occupation comes out for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One, whereas Etrian Odyssey Nexus comes out for the 3DS. That game title sounds like they just picked 3 spacey sounding words and put them together.
They just selected syllables.
It was like an auto, like space game name generator.com. On February 6th, we've got a bunch on February 6th. 39 Days to Mars, which is coming out for the Xbox One. Salt and Sanctuary.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't get to Mars in 39 days.
Well,
that would be an interesting story.
Maybe it's a future game.
Propulsion
is faster.
Maybe you're just trying to get a Mars bar.
39 Days to Mars.
It's the old Mars store. I think wasn't that a store chain in the US for a while? Mars bars and stuff.
Well, I mean, the whole reason I like doing these lists is so we can criticize the game names.
It's so fun.
Like The Occupation coming
The
soon. The German
Occupation.
edition.
It actually looks fantastic, though. The Occupation looks really cool.
The Poland DLC.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, 39 Days to Mars, February 6th. Salt and Sanctuary, also an Xbox One, February 6th. And Bender, this one's for
Huh?
you. The
Huh?
Astroneer official launch for PC and Xbox One,
Ooh.
PlayStation 4 to be determined.
Oh.
So how long
okay.
has that game been in early access?
Oh, like maybe 2 years?
Easily.
Maybe a year and a half?
Like their first official build is just early access. Anyway,
Well, I'm not complaining because it's a great game, and it was a great game out of the gates.
it looks
So-
solid. It
I
always
think
looks
we
solid.
actually like talked about and streamed Astroneer on the channel that shall not be named.
Astroneer is a very well developed video game, in my
That's
opinion. It
always
lacks a little story and some content, but in terms of sandbox, it's top notch.
Yeah,
It's
you
cute
always-
as heck.
Mm-hmm. On February 7th, we've got 2 games coming out. Ape Out, which is for the PC and Switch. And then we've got Shalene, The Division 2 private beta.
I applied. I hope I get in.
I'm naming my character Private Beta.
Private beta. Don't
Private-
mind me.
That's
I'm just
almost as good as Agent Trace.
I know.
repositioning myself for the people.
Vendor, assume the position. I had a
fine.
Guitarian slip. I said Fender.
Fender.
So Division 2 private beta is coming out for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. If you signed up for it, good luck. I am hoping to get into it myself. February 8th, we've got God Eater 3, which is the parody of God of War. PC, PlayStation 4. And then on the 12th of February, we skip a couple days. We go to Trials Rising, which is on PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and
I
Switch.
can't
And that
wait.
sounds like you're excited.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I love Trials.
What is it? Like, is it like
It's just like it's a motocross game. Like it's a platformer, but you play as a motorcycle. But
Oh.
it's like stupid hard. Like it's so hard. Trials it's very, very complex. Like it's one of those games that there's not much to it, but when you get in the zone, you're like a Jedi, you know, just piloting your little motorcycle.
Is it like
and,
Meat Boy hard?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
it's
What?
super hard. I adore Trials. I adore this series.
Never
So
mind.
good.
Just skip over that. That never
What?
happened.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, no, Super Meat Boy.
No. On with the rest of the news.
You guys!
That wasn't even me.
I pulled a Rick.
You guys! Okay.
Anyways, February 14th, we've got Degrees of Separation. PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. And then
Oh no. Here it comes.
February 14, we have The Texorcist, the story of
What?
Ray Bibia.
Oh no.
What is this game? I want to know.
Don't know.
Texorcist.
You remember the days when the baseball game would come out and it's called Baseball? And now we've got The Texorcist, the story of Ray Bibia.
What on earth is that? Somebody do a Google and tell us what the Textorcist is
I'm on
all
it.
about.
I'm on
Well,
it.
it comes out on PC February 14th.
I hope it's a love story since it comes out on Valentine's Day.
Ooh. You know what game also comes out on Valentine's Day that's going to break a lot of relationships? Civilization 6 Gathering Storm, which is probably a play on words for the relationships
Okay.
that are going to be destroyed.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Shit. Okay. I Okay.
There's
so
our explicit tag for the day.
I looked up the Texorcist, and this was the only thing that I could find.
Oh my gosh, Fender.
What on earth?
Go on, get out of here.
Oh, Vendor.
He's an exorcist that's a Texan. And
That is the only thing that exists on the interwebs when you
Exorcist of
search
Emily Rose.
Texorcist. There's no video game whatsoever.
Okay.
You heard it first here, guys. Top quality podcast content.
Let's see if I can rope this in. Also, on February 14th, this sounds, just by the name alone, sounds like a game that Shalene will be all over. Tokyo School Life. That has to be a dating sim.
Probably. That does sound like something I'd play. It really does.
And it comes out on the Switch. So there you go. For Valentine's Day.
Oh man, how sad. How sad. I'm spending my Valentine's Day at home, eating Cheetos, playing Tokyo School Life.
Well, for those of you that get Civilization 6 on Valentine's Day and turn your date life into a disaster area, the following day, February 15th, Metro Exodus comes out for the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. I have that pre-ordered. I am so excited. Unfortunately, I will be out of town, so I won't get to play it right away.
No.
Also on February 15th, which is a popular day for games, Crackdown 3 comes out for PlayStation not PlayStation, comes out for PC and Xbox One. Far Cry New Dawn comes out for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. And Jump Force comes out for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One, all on February 15th. Followed by Anthem EA/Origin Access Trial, also on February 15th for the PC and Xbox One. Whew. That's a big day for games in February, man. February 15th, mark your calendars. On February 19th, we've got Yakuza Kiwami on the PC. And on February
What was
22nd,
that?
Can you just like say that again? I didn't hear it.
yeah, so on February 19th, you have Yakuza Kiwami coming out for PC. That's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And on February 22nd, Anthem is not done because they're officially releasing on February 22nd. Anthem, PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. They're really creating kind of a hype build leading up to that launch, aren't they?
You know what? It's so strange to me. They're having all these separate like demos and betas and each one is a different build of the game and none of them are really similar to the final release version, which seems strange.
It to me, you know what it says? It says that they're afraid.
Yeah. I think maybe they should be.
Ooh,
I don't
Archin1123 to the rescue. He says the Texorcist is a bullet hell / typing game, apparently.
Oh my
Archie,
goodness.
1123. Like he's a new person in the chat or something.
I'm in reading mode.
Thank you, Archin, for doing a Google for us there.
Thank you, Archin1123.
Oh, pardon me.
I read.
That's what his mom says when he's in trouble. Archie1123, get down here right now.
Don't make me get out the hose.
Stop touching your sister.
I will
Don't
read
make
whatever's
me
typed
pull
on the
this car
teleprompter.
over.
The teleprompter, yeah.
I read whatever's
Thank you.
on there.
Laughs out loud. No, don't read that part, Rick.
You, San Diego. Anyway, on February 22nd as well, I think Origami Shadow Edition, which will be in the shadow of Anthem and probably get left behind, will come out on the Switch. On February 26th, Anno 1800, which is either the trick name, because you remember that, like the 1080 snowboarding games? Anno 1800, which is probably a year. That comes out on PC, whatever that is, along with Stellaris Console Edition, which comes out on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Just kidding. It only comes out on the console because apparently it's the console edition.
Console edition.
Whew. That's all
Nice
the new games.
job, Rick.
That is a long list of games. And you
know
called
what?
that?
I cut this list down by at least half.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
February is a swollen month for gaming.
It's the shortest month of the year, so they decided to cram all the games into this small month.
If Archin in the chat says, I think I'm just gonna go into hiding. I think I'm just gonna go hide now. And if he did that, you know what I would say? I would say 1123. Why are you not at your post?
Nice.
I'd say, don't make me count to 3.
One,
2, 2.5.
Oh my goodness, that's so great. Oh man, that's amazing.
If you don't feel like paying for games, like we're all paying for listening to us right now, just our brains are mushing.
Maybe say like Archin is going into hiding. Maybe he needs some games. He had to leave his money behind. So what can Archin do?
Well, if he's got an Xbox and Games with Gold, you can get some free games. You can get February 1st through the 15th, you can get Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, and Assassin's Creed Rogue.
I'm really excited about both of these guys.
They crossed over into X-Men territory.
Yeah, Bloodstained is it's like a Castlevania. I believe it's made by the original Castlevania guys. And Assassin's Creed Rogue is, of course, a couple of games down the line for me in my quest to play all of the Assassin's Creed games. And that's the only one that I didn't own. So thank you, Xbox, for this free game, completing my collection.
You're welcome. Did you hear that? They said you're welcome.
That was nice.
And if you don't want any of those games, February 16th through the 28th, you get some backwards compatible games like Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, or Academy Jedi Knight, Jedi Wars Stars. So that it's backwards compatible, so it's reverse. And February
I see what you did there.
through March, you can get Super Bomberman R.
Have you played the Star Wars game? Is it good?
What Star Wars game?
Academy Jedi Knight Jedi.
Wars Star?
That's the one.
Oh boy.
No, I have not played. The last Star Wars game I played was Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Or Battlefront, not Battlefront 2. Or was it 2? I don't remember. They all kind of look the same.
I think you played a bit of Battlefront 2.
Yeah, I think like 9 hours.
Yeah. I feel like I remember discussing it with you.
Yeah, because everyone was surprised I bought it. I had just went to see the Star Wars movie, and I wanted the game.
No. We were surprised that you bought Battlefield 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I love it.
I'm not going to get it. And then you're like, I bought it, and it's great.
And I love it. It's delicious. If you don't have an Xbox...
I was just about to say, I try to stay away from playing games that look the same all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Rick, you got a little, it's a little something there. It's called a dip. Belgian dip. You learn it in Belgium.
PlayStation Plus.
If you don't have an Xbox and you have a PlayStation and PlayStation Plus, there's caveats to all these free games. You can get Hitman, the complete first season, For Honor. And what is the PlayStation 3 thing? Like a backwards compatible game?
No, it's just for PlayStation 3.
Okay, so if you have a PlayStation 3, you can get Dive Kick. Cross-buy with Vita.
Hey, that's like what you were talking about, Rick. You were saying, it's a baseball game. It's called baseball. This is a game where you dive and kick. It's called
Is it
Dive
really?
Kick.
Is it really?
I think
love
so,
this game
yeah.
already.
I'm pretty sure it is a game where you dive and kick.
And you can also get Metal Gear Solid 4.
Is that the one that had like a 13-hour cutscene?
Yes, it really has a movie as a cutscene, but it is one of the best Metal Gears that was out. So, on the PlayStation Vita, you can get Gunhouse, which sounds like one of those baseball games. Cross-buy with PlayStation 4, whatever that means, and Rogue Aces, cross-buy with PlayStation 4. The cloud, what's cloud storage change? Feline, you wrote this. I don't know.
I'm sorry. So, I should have cut that. Cloud storage for PS Plus members has increased from 10 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes. And that change will go into effect in early February. So
Nice.
Yay, no more inventory management for your save files.
Hey, that's great, because I have all these games on my PS4 and they just aren't installed because there's no space.
Oh my gosh, you guys, it's true. Dive Kick is a fighting game with only 2 inputs, jump and dive kick.
And then Joseph Tao says, well, besides moving back and forth, but they couldn't very well call it back, forth, dive kick.
Yeah. Well, actually, given the list we just went through, they
wow.
probably could. They
That's
probably
amazing.
Could. Yeah. Something dive, forth, back, kick, colon.
Dip, dive, duck, dodge, dip, dive.
Colon.
They dive and kick at different angles and speeds. I bet that's actually a pretty fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. So anyway, Twitch Prime also gives you some free games. Dear Esther Landmark Edition. And then Downwell, which actually is pretty fun. I played that on the phone, and it's pretty cool. It's like an 8-bit. You just kind of fall and shoot and stuff. You fall down the well. Anyway, the Drac Neck and Co. Puzzle Collection and Pikuniku and the flame in the flood, which is an oxymoron because flames and floods. So if you want Pikuniku, Twitch Prime. Epic is giving away Jackbox Party Pack until February 7th, and then Axiom Verge until February 21st.
Axiom Verge is a fantastic Metroid style platform. It's really good. Really, really good. Highly recommend Axiom Verge. It is worth installing the Epic launcher.
So I didn't even know that Epic had a launcher, but of course they do.
Yes, they do. And we'll talk more about that. And they've been giving away a free game every couple of weeks, and some of them have been pretty good. So
Very cool. Cool. Well, that's it for my voice.
fantastic! You did a great job, Rick. Thank you.
Yay!
Now, Vendortron, would you like to roll into our next couple of news items here?
Sure. Well, speaking of Epic, you guys, Metro Exodus has decided that they will only be releasing on the Epic Store. But don't worry, Steam pre-orders will still be honored. This has created a bit of an uproar. It seems a little odd, that just with a couple weeks remaining before Metro Exodus comes out, that the box editions with Steam codes haven't actually already put into production, and Epic is kind of scrambling to replace those printed codes and keys. Well,
That's nerve-wracking for me because I have it on Steam.
yes, the original story was that Metro Exodus would release solely on the Epic Game Store when it launches on February 15th. And publisher Deep Silver is the one that revealed that information. And THQ Nordic actually released a quote on Twitter. They said the decision to publish Metro Exodus as a timed Epic Store exclusive was made entirely on Koch Media's side, as Metro is their intellectual property. They are a sister company of THQ Nordic Vienna, which is the reason why we cannot and will not comment on this matter. And then they added a little thing on the end, "we do," to their tweet, and I'm not entirely sure what they meant by that, but we can interpret that all we want. That's what we do on the show. But you can currently pre-order on Steam. Not for long, though, it seems. You'll find this notice that Metro Exodus will be discontinued on Steam. If it's already not discontinued and you can't get it on Steam. But just wanted to reassure you guys that if you have purchased it on Steam, you'll still be able to get it in some way or form. Thoughts, comments?
It seems like a strange decision that they waited this long to make that change, but it doesn't seem like that strange of a decision to leave the platform. Developers make a lot more money on their game on the Epic launcher. They get to keep more of the sales, and it makes business sense. It makes business sense. So.
And you, Rick, you said you pre-ordered it?
Well, it was gifted to me as a pre-order, but yes. So I'm gonna be kind of curious to see how this works out. This is getting weird. You remember when cable was like king, and we were all like, man, I wish we could just pick and choose the channels we want instead of packages and stuff. And then like Hulu comes out or like Netflix comes out, we're like, oh, this is awesome. We can pick and choose the shows we want. And then like Amazon Prime, and then Hulu, and then Crackle, and then this one, and then HBO has their own thing, and then Starz has their own thing, and then Showtime has their own thing, and now it's like, by the time I get done pick and choosing my a la carte, I'm spending more than I would ever spend on the highest package of cable.
Right.
And now it's starting to do the same thing with game launchers, because Bethesda game launchers, Steam, Origin, Epic, freaking Discord.
Ubisoft.
Like, oh gosh, like Steam's idea was genius. Let's consolidate all these things so we don't have games drifted on hard drives or 50 million launchers, and now we've just circled back around to 50 million launchers. Instead of 50 million games on our hard drive, we have not 50 million games, but 1 million launchers.
Well, for those of you who find comfort in knowing that you'll be able to still get your game on Steam, it's actually going to cost you more money. So the game will actually cost $50 on the Epic Store in the US, and it is originally listed as $59.99 on Steam.
Oh.
And so this is part of Epic's competitive revenue split 88-12, and they hinted this as being the reason for the linear pricing on the Epic store. They said, and I quote, this is from Deep Silver CEO Clemens Kundratites. We are delighted to partner with Epic to bring the digital PC version of Metro Exodus to the market. Epic's generous revenue terms are a game changer that will allow publishers to invest more in content creation or pass on savings to the players. By teaming up with Epic, we will be able to invest more into the future of Metro and our ongoing partnership with the series developer 4A Games to the benefit of our Metro fans. The price of the game in the UK remains unchanged at £50, but you can get the regular and gold editions on the Epic Games Store if you enjoy all of the different things that come with those, like digital art, soundtracks, etc., etc. So there it is, guys. Maybe if you were planning to buy it on Steam, maybe hold off and get it on the Epic Store for cheaper.
It really does. Like, I know it's annoying to have 18 launchers. I hate it. I hate having all these launchers. Whenever I want to play a game with one of you guys, I never know, which one to open. I'm like, Rick, what does the Uplay
Yeah.
one look like? How do we play the Division? What does it look like?
Yeah.
And but it makes business sense for these companies to not want to give Valve a piece of their sales. If they can avoid it, it makes sense. It really does.
Yeah,
So.
I get it.
Okay, so if I can't afford Metro Exodus and I've already played through all the free games from earlier, what am I going to do with my time? How am I going to divert myself, Vendertron? What am I going to do?
Our segues are getting so lazy.
Jablinski Games, guys. Jablinski Games. You can go.
Awesome.
Earlier this week, Jack Black posted a video on YouTube, his YouTube channel, Jablinski Games, announcing that he will be doing his first online game stream on YouTube. And since the announcement, the channel has grown to over 3.4 million subscribers. And I don't know if you guys have seen this video, but
Oh yeah.
he is rocking a beard now, and it is
Uh-huh.
it is so good. That's
It's
the
glorious.
first most important thing we must address is Jack Black's beard. The second thing is, how cool is that? Jack Black's gonna stream games on YouTube. That's awesome. I
gosh.
totally want to watch this.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love this channel. I've subscribed from the beginning, and I think it's really funny because I haven't watched today's video, the one that was released today, but so far he's been posting every video, and he opens up and he's like, "No gaming today, guys. We couldn't figure it out. We have the Elgato. We don't know how to use it. We got a guy coming in."
Got a guy.
And I feel like that it's just this epic troll, and it's not a gaming channel. It's just going to be a channel where we, visit the pinball museum and hang out with his kids. And
And so that's been a lot of the buzz around the internet, is whether or not he's really just pulling our leg. And
I don't care either way.
Oh yeah, I love Jack Black.
He could. The only wrong he's ever done, in my opinion, is his role in Tropic Thunder. Didn't dig it too much, but everything else he's ever done has been absolutely golden.
School of Rock, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's golden. I love it, and I do need to see the new Jumanji.
Right, that's right. I haven't seen that either. I hear good things. We
I
should
saw
have a
him
movie
do an
night.
impression of The Rock in an interview
Mm-hmm.
for Jumanji, and it was like so spot on. It was unreal. It was so good.
Did he also do an impression of a hot dog?
Gosh,
So,
I just
yeah.
love Jack Black. I'm gonna go watch School of Rock now.
That's great.
If he does actually stream games, I think that's gonna be pretty rad. We should have him on the show.
Absolutely. I'll we'll have our people call his people.
Yep.
What was that game that he did?
So I'm actually betting that he hasn't actually streamed games, because his PR team and his legal team are like freaking out right now about like what he's planning to do on the internet. And they are probably like, well, no, you can't do that. Oh, you got to make sure you do this. And like, so really, is the Elgato really broken?
By the way, Brutal Legend was the Jack
Yeah.
Black game where he. What if all he does is stream Brutal Legend?
That would be amazing. I would love it if he streamed Brutal Legend.
I would
That's
like
so
him
great.
I would like him to stream Tokyo School Life.
Did you
I
guys
would
play
so
Brutal...
watch that.
Did you guys play Brutal Legend?
No.
I really liked the parts that weren't tower defense. Parts of it were like an action game where you played as the cover of a metal album, wielding an electric guitar, and it was great. But then it would turn into a tower defense, and I don't like tower defense. So.
Yeah, I don't either.
Anyway, that's great. Jablinski Games.
Jablinski. You got to say it like he says it though. Jablinski Games.
What's Jablin Jables?
He's like
Oh,
one of those
man.
guys that can just make up stuff and it sounds
So
cool.
good. So
Yeah.
good.
Sounds so good.
And you're like, I don't know how he can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm wondering if he'll move to Twitch as well. Probably
He has
not.
to stream first.
Yeah, it would. I don't know. I don't know if it would make sense for him to move to Twitch when
don't
he
think so.
already has millions and millions of subscribers on YouTube.
Well, I mean, all he has to do is tell people that he also has an account on Twitch and he'll
Yeah.
have millions and millions of subscribers on Twitch. Not like
That's
he's
true.
like trying to make it big.
I guess you're right. It's not like he's building his channel like from scratch. Yeah. Speaking of channels that were built from scratch,
This is so sad.
yes, it is. Machinima is no more. Machinima's YouTube channel is gone. So if you recall, it was a big deal for a long time. Machinima.
Oh yeah.
Many creators in the gaming and geek space got their start on Machinima, and without any warning at all, Machinima has set their entire YouTube library to private. They were acquired by a new company, and that was the decision that was made. So it was completely a shock to all the creators that were on this channel. So it's kind of a shame.
Do we know why?
Money.
Well, I mean, yes, but do we know why?
Not really, no. Otter
Huh.
Media acquired them and shut them down.
Do you have the
So-
quote? They basically said this was all to give their content creators better platforms to be accessible and post stuff on, basically. It was basically just a bullcrap quote.
Mm-hmm.
I first
Yeah.
saw this, Felicia Day tweeted about it.
Yeah, her Dragon Age series is gone from the internet now. So,
Huh.
And they said everything will last forever on the internet.
mm-hmm.
Liz must be falling apart.
Yeah.
She's like wild into Dragon Age, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very, very into Dragon Age. So, yeah, it's a sad thing, but
Sad, sad world.
well, let's just do a total 180 and go
Mhm.
into some zany Kotaku news.
All
You have
right.
Zany Kotaku news?
We do. We have zany
Woo!
Kotaku news. A French man was sentenced to 4 months in prison for replacing a PS4 price tag with a $10 fruit sticker. I can't even get the headline out. Oh man, I want to just read this article from Kotaku to you guys because it's just glorious. Sometimes it is better to let dreams be dreams. A 19-year-old man from Nice, France, learned the hard way when he got the wild idea to take a PlayStation 4 off the shelf of a supermarket, walk to the fruit section, weigh it, print out a price tag sticker, put it on the box, then buy the console for the price of a 6-pound bag of produce. French
brilliant.
publication Le Républicain, I don't know how to say things in French, reports that the young man named Adele was recently sentenced to 4 months in prison for pulling off the great PlayStation fruit heist of 2018 back in September. Normally, he would have had to play...
drive-by fruiting.
Normally, he would have had to pay €340 or around $389, but his produce-scented ruse brought the price down to just €9, just over $10.
Man.
He used a self-checkout line, which probably helped him avoid employee scrutiny, and he went on to sell the partially purloined PlayStation for €100 or $114 in order to pay for a train ticket. Adele tried to do the same thing again the next day, only to get caught by police. Late last week, he did not appear in court in Montbéliard, France, and was sentenced to 4 months in prison, though the sentence is suspended, so he'll only have to serve it if he reoffends. At this point, he probably wishes he'd just bought a banana.
Wait a minute. How do you go through a self-checkout with a PS4? Like
You
here,
just-
that would never happen.
Yeah,
No,
you
but
can't
like
just
security
pull
tag.
a PS4 off the shelf here.
Yeah.
I don't know,
And, like,
maybe.
They're
Typically
locked in a
things-
case. Like,
typi-
you've got to
typically
talk to a
things-
guy.
Yeah.
He gets the PS4, he handcuffs it to his arm, carries it to the cashier.
Okay, well, maybe that's how things happen in New Mexico.
International New Mexico.
Right. Yeah, no, we've had like things with the security tag, usually you gotta go see a teller.
Well, I bought something from Home Depot that had a security tag on it, and scanning it through the self-checkout line deactivated the tag.
Okay.
So I don't know if it registered the UPC to the tag. I don't know.
But PS4s usually have like those, it's like the cables, and then there's that big thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got to take the key and
And pop it off. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's,
Well, I don't know how they do things in Europe, but
They were too trusting. They were too
I
trusting
guess so.
at this place. I think it's really funny that he got away with it. If he had let sleeping dogs lie,
I
he
know.
could have gotten away with the great PlayStation fruit heist.
yeah,
This
he must have been at a department store though, right? Because I mean, like, where else would you get the fruit sticker?
I know.
Yeah, like at a
Like
Walmart or something.
PlayStation and produce.
Yeah.
Somebody choices were made, Rick. Choices were made.
This goes along with my theory that the only way to be a successful gang person, like mafia kind of guy, like what do you call a bad guy that does like,
Criminal?
criminal?
Yeah. Okay.
The
Play
way-
innocent. That's fine.
The way to be a successful criminal is to not be greedy. Every single movie you see about, mafia guys or whatever, like you watch Boardwalk Empire, some idiot is always like, hey, maybe if we keep the whiskey for ourselves, we can sell it for double the amount we're getting paid. And then 2 episodes later, they get shot in the face. It's like, like if I was ever going to break bad, I'd be like, you know what, you boss, I'll take 10%. You take 90. It's cool. I got it. Because then I'll be the trustworthy guy who's not greedy and I won't get shot. If he wouldn't have gone back the next day, he would have gotten away with it.
Also, pay your taxes if you're going to be a criminal. That's how they always
yeah.
get you. Tax fraud. So.
Yep.
Oh crap! I gotta do that.
Okay.
They're going to get you, vendor.
Speaking of tax fraud, internet, government, I'll see you on Tuesday,
Wow.
maybe Wednesday.
This is one of our more interesting derailments. We're now discussing the best way to commit crime.
Yeah.
Is to not be greedy.
Yeah, you know what rhymes with crime though? Prime.
Crime?
Metroid Prime
Oh.
4, which restarts development from Nintendo. Colleen, why don't you take this
Indeed.
story?
So recently, Nintendo released a video in which they basically said the development on the highly anticipated Metroid Prime 4 just wasn't up to snuff. It was not up to their standards, and they have scrapped the project and are starting from scratch.
Huh.
So, this source is from Game Informer. They've announced that they are partnering with the original developer of the Prime series, Retro Studios, to restart development on the game. In a special video, Shinya Takahashi, Nintendo Senior Managing Executive Officer, says that the project has not met standards, and going forward, the internal development producer, Kensuke Tanabe, will work with Retro to start over. So they've scrapped everything they've got, and they're starting from scratch on Metroid Prime 4. They say that this will add extensive time, of course, to the development cycle, as can be expected. You know, it's they're starting from scratch. It will be a long time before we are going to see this game. But guys, I would rather that Metroid Prime 4 be late than bad. I really, yeah, I'd rather wait than play a bad game. And it's been so long since we've had a new Metroid game. You know, we deserve something that's good. And
Vince is the GameCube, right?
well, there was a game on the Wii, Metroid Other M. It was real bad. It's I prefer to pretend it doesn't exist. You know how there are those people
Yeah.
that like pretend that the prequels, the Star Wars prequels don't exist? Yeah. That's me and Other M. I really hated Other M. There was also a Metroid on 3DS pretty recently, but it was a remake of Metroid 2. So
Gotcha.
it's, you know, it's not new. It's kind of new, but not new. But
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And I would like to just say that I appreciate Nintendo telling us what's going on. This is a very un-Nintendo-like move to actually give us information. It's much more like them to just leave us wondering about Metroid Prime for the next 6 years as they redevelop the game from scratch, you know? But,
Or than the flip side of that, if this was a Bethesda game, they would have said all of this.
just launched it anyway.
It'd come out next month. After we're completely scrapping the old game, we're redeveloping it, and it'll come out tomorrow.
It'll come out next week, and
it'll
test
just
the beta this
work.
week. So if you haven't bought and downloaded it, yeah.
Oh man,
Watching.
so
But you know what? Perfection is the enemy of the good, and I think sometimes you got to make that call of, you know, when is it going to be better if we restart, or should we just keep going? And sometimes companies just keep going, and then the product that gets put out is trash. So good on them for making the decision. Maybe it was the right one, maybe it wasn't. We'll never actually know because we have nothing to compare it to. But
I'm fairly confident that it was a good call to give the series back to retro.
yeah, I wonder if people will be expecting more now of Metroid Prime 4.
That said, though, the team at Retro is not necessarily the same team that was there for Metroid Prime 1 through 3. So
Right.
We'll see. But I have high hopes. I feel good about it. And we're going to have to wait for Metroid Prime 4 for a long time. What can we play in the meantime? How about some of the games on this list of the top 10 selling Nintendo Switch games?
5 of them will be involved with Mario, I'm betting you.
Okay, so let's see. Let's count them up. This is from GameSpot, and they posted this article showing that Nintendo has revealed its 10 best-selling Switch exclusives. They've had some huge sales figures. Super Mario Odyssey has sold 13.76 million copies.
How do you sell
great.
0.76?
Well, 0.76 million.
Million,
Oh,
Rick.
that's true.
Yeah.
760,000. Do the math.
And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold 15 million copies. That's pretty good. Yeah. So let's read through the list. The top selling Switch game is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
That's one.
Yes. It's a good one. I have it. Very good video game. Super Mario Odyssey is number 2.
2.
Also good. Have that one too. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is number 3.
Is Mario in that?
Mario's in that.
3.
Okay. Number 4 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Does Mario make it?
No Mario cameos in Breath of the Wild. Number 5 is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu / Eevee. No Mario's there, I don't believe. Number 6 is Splatoon 2.
No Mario's in that.
Number 7, Super Mario Party.
4.
Okay, there you go. Number 8,
5 now.
1-2 Switch.
What is that?
It's like it's the mini game compilation.
Oh.
You can like milk a cow and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that's what I like to do while I'm waiting for empires change.
Milk a cow.
Yeah, I know, Rick. I just wait. Just wait until my gameplay segment, okay?
Oh no.
You played it. I knew it.
No, I haven't played 1-2 Switch, but you'll see. Number 9 is Mario Tennis Aces.
5.
Now
You
that
did
I would
it,
actually
Rick. You
play.
did it. Number 10, Kirby Star Allies.
Oh, I got it right. I knew it. 5
Yeah.
of the 10 would be involved with Mario. They know their bread and butter.
Yeah,
I'm just looking
they
at
do.
this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have purchased 7 of these games. Yeah. So.
Huh.
Somebody, does anybody have the segue for this next one? Because I don't.
Well, no segue. Nothing.
This?
Water sinking. I feel
So
like we're
it's a good one.
sinking. The show is sinking, Shalene.
Nice job, Rick. Thank you.
I try.
That's a good bumper. We're probably
See?
gonna get the MCA strike.
We are.
No, you won't because we're talking over it. Commentary.
We do anyway sometimes. It's okay. We
We get a
don't
CD
worry about
strike?
it. Yeah, every time that we do a Fallout show, the Dean Martin. It's the Dean Martin.
Oh, really?
Every time. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. So far they haven't like taken our channel down. So
Well, that's good.
So we're okay. Sea of Thieves is going to make crossplay an optional thing due to the new PvP mode, Arena, that is on the way.
Ooh.
They want everybody to feel like they have a level playing field, because, you know, mouse and keyboard, it's a little more accurate than a controller. So they're going to make it optional where you can opt into playing against people who are playing controller or people who are playing mouse keyboard. So that's pretty cool going forward. I know we've had some funny occurrences sometimes running into people on opposite platforms. So
An ad started in the middle of the song.
okay. That's fine.
job.
That's fine.
Good job, Rick.
We're done anyway.
Huh.
After
I,
guys,
jeez.
this is the worst podcast. I don't know.
We'll edit this part out.
All of our listeners are gone.
Never
so
will.
We're just
We never
talking to
edit anything
ourselves
out.
here. Oh my gosh, guys. Quantic Dream. Quantic Dream made Detroit Become Human, which Vendortron and I have both played and loved very much. They have been making PlayStation exclusive games for 12 years. But those days are over. They are over. Because they have had a huge investment from Chinese company NetEase. And yeah, they're going to be making multi-platform games now. It was really interesting the way that they announced this. They actually used the actress who did the Chloe android, who is the menu, basically, for Detroit Become Human. They got Chloe to record them a little message explaining why they've done this, and basically that this move is offering them some more security, and yeah, so very cool. So if you have missed out on Quantic Dream games because you don't have a PS4 or a PlayStation platform, then that won't be the case going forward. So I go ahead.
I didn't realize they were all exclusives.
Yeah, they've been exclusives for years. So
Did you try Indigo yet?
I haven't. No, I haven't. We need to do that. I was waiting to do it on stream, and we took a little bit of a hiatus from our Sunday streams.
Did the Indigo eat your baby? Is what?
Maybe the Indigo ate your baby.
You guys. So last week, you guys did a podcast without me. I was sick.
It was
I didn't
glorious.
feel good. Well,
We
that's
were-
not
we
very
were-
kind. That's not very kind.
It was that Fallout show Unleashed.
Yeah.
Mom was away.
So you guys did a Gamestack. I wasn't here. You guys were talking about esports, and I was like, "Oh, esports, guys! Like, I don't. Why are we talking about esports?" But I've decided that I've changed my mind on this issue. I approve of talking about esports, and let me tell you why. The Farming Simulator Esports League was announced recently.
Is my prediction not coming true, Rick?
Farming Simulator League.
What prediction? I missed that one.
Well, okay, so on the last episode, I was putting this big emphasis on esports, that it's going to be the big thing to invest in this year.
That's true.
And now, Farm Sim Esports League.
You know what? You're right. And when you're right, you're right. And you're always right.
The Farming Simulator Esports League will consist of 10 tournaments across Europe, including at events like Gamescom and Paris Games Week.
Europe.
Yes, and there's going to be... Farming Simulator is huge in Europe. They love it. They love it there. I know, right? I know.
You know what? I could see that some, like, you know, Americans would be like, Farming Simulator. I call that real life. I farm. I could see disdain.
Yeah. I understand what
Could you
you're getting
imagine if they had that, like, stereotypical announcer?
Well,
You know,
they kind of do.
Team
Yeah.
Tractor Udder is coming in with their crop haul.
Yeah, it's pretty much that.
I don't know.
As a person who's played Farm Sim, that game is incredibly addictive.
I loved watching you play Farm Sim.
It is.
I loved those streams as well.
so
They were
addictive,
amazing.
guys. I don't know. There's just something mindless and methodical about it that
so mesmerizing.
Yeah.
Well, Vendor, if you would like to join the Farming Simulator League, you could be eligible to win up to 250,000 euros in prize money. That's about $280,000 in American money.
That's
Man.
that's like 300 grand Canadian.
They have sponsors like Logitech and Intel, and I don't understand how they do competitive farm sim. Do they just, is it a contest of who can earn the most money, or who
harvest
can bale the
fastest?
most hay? I don't. Who can chop the
Watch
most
John
wood?
shucks corn.
I don't know, but a farming simulator, it's actually very fun. My nephew asked for Farming Simulator for Christmas. He's super into it, loves it to death. It's a cool game. I like watching people play Farming Simulator. I haven't tried it myself.
It's
But
fun.
I think it's really funny that they're playing for this kind of money in
There
Farming
has
Simulator.
to be some sort of, like, scientific name for this concept or idea where things that generally are not interesting or ridiculous, like soap operas, for instance. Like, have you ever been to, like, a garage and, like, there's just a soap opera on, and you're kind of like, this is silly. I
You know, I
wonder if
understand.
John will live.
I understand the psychology behind it, in that people play two types of games. They play action-packed content-full games, or they play generally just methodical, mindless games. And I think it depends on. It doesn't say anything about the person. I think it depends on what you want in that moment. If you're more content, if playing Farm Sim and doing methodical things is like a therapy thing for you, then I can totally understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I've actually stepped away from playing games like Fallout 4 and Senua's Sacrifice because it's just too much for me in that moment. I want something,
Right.
But I'm talking about how I like watching you play Farm Sim, and I have absolute zero interest in playing the game. There has to be something to, like, because it's just general human nature. Like, again, if a soap opera's on, nobody really cares about soap operas. But like, if you don't care about it, you end up kind of just watching it and getting interested in it, even though it's like, or a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Or like, like Farming Sim. Like, I just kind of, well, I wonder if he is going to get that forklift to get that hay bale. Or if he's
Yeah.
gonna fall
Well,
off.
how's he
Like,
gonna get out of this one?
I don't know what it is about it. It's just, or like Roadkill. You're like, oh man, I don't know. There's got to be something scientific about it, like some name for it.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Farming Simulator is so good. I just think it's a good thing. And this is what it took to get me to come around to talking about esports on the podcast. So, so speaking of gosh, nothing. Speaking of nothing.
You got nothing.
Let's talk about Anthem, guys. It had a bit of a rocky launch. Just like you need to clear the rocks out of the way of your plow when you're plowing up your farming field. You need to get those rocks out of your launch before you launch a beta.
Going the way of the Challenger with a rocky launch, Fallout 76.
Wow. Wow. That
Dark
was
humor.
the Freudian slip there.
So
If I could-
anyway, how did this even have a rocky launch? Oh, I guess today is the beta, right?
Yeah, the beta was last week. They had the first one last weekend,
Gotcha.
and the servers were not coping. The servers
Didn't
were
you
not
say you
coping.
tried to get into it?
No, I didn't. No,
Or was that you, Vendor?
Nope, not me.
I
Do I have
considered
another
it, but
friend?
I didn't actually download it. Do you have friends besides us? Is
I
that
think-
what you're telling us
I think
here?
it was a buddy. I think it was some buddies who played Battlefield 5 with me that were saying that they couldn't log in at all.
I'm shocked and also hurt that you have friends outside of this room. I don't know how to feel about this. But
Okay.
Anthem, yeah, what do you guys think? Are you excited for Anthem? Do you think they are building a ton of hype here? I'd like to hear your opinions.
To me, Anthem is the equivalent of a young Eddie Van Halen walking on stage with a violin and saying, "My parents are making me do this."
Wow.
That's how I feel. Because we know that BioWare, we know what they're capable of, right? We do. Dragon Age, Mass Effect, minus Andromeda, but that's not their fault. And EA is basically like, nah, you're not going to do anything with that. You're going to make Anthem. And I don't know. I don't know. This is going to make or break BioWare.
I think that this, I've said it before, I really want Anthem to do well.
I do too.
Because if they don't, I think that we're never going to see another Dragon Age game.
Well, right, because EA is going to just shelf BioWare because they're like, well, obviously they can't make good games.
If by shelf you mean drag out back and shoot.
Come on, Lassie. No, I mean, really, I mean, honestly, that's what's like. EA is forcing them to do this thing, and if it bombs because EA's is it EA that owns them? I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
EA.
It is.
If it bombs because EA's stupid, they're gonna be like, well, obviously they can't make video games, dummies, and they're just gonna blow them off like they did so many different companies that they've axed, and it's not their fault. And I want Anthem to be awesome. Now the combat. Did you play Andromeda? Either of you two?
I played about 10 hours of Andromeda.
So what? Okay, so Vendor didn't. But one of the strong points in Andromeda is the combat.
Agreed.
And if Anthem, which it looks like it's built on the same engine, I don't know if it is or not. I'm sure someone can confirm. But if the combat's anything like Andromeda, then it has a chance. It's the story.
Mm-hmm.
If EA lets them just do the story the way that they want to do it, I'm sure it would be fine. We'll see.
I don't know. We'll see indeed.
So.
Okay, so I think that's all we had for news. Did you guys have anything else for news? Okay. I haven't adjusted the volume on the stock bumper, so prepare yourselves. And that rolls us right into Gamestack. So these are our stock numbers as of 2:16 p.m. on Friday, February the 1st, 2019. These numbers are reported in US dollars. So Sony is at $45.99, down almost $4 since last fortnight. Microsoft is at $102.70, also down almost $4. Nintendo is at $35.40, down $3.69. Take-Two is at $104.95, down $2.64. Activision is at $46.05 a share, down $2.61. Ubisoft is at $17.54. This is the only stock that we report on that actually increased. They had a gain of 4 cents since last fortnight. EA is at $91.22, down almost $1. So that's our stock numbers for this fortnight.
$1.
$1.
$1? That's one of my favorite quotes.
Thank you.
Every time I go to the casino, I'm like,
You do that? You wait for people to be around the machine. You walk up and you're like, $1. Walk away. How dare they?
Oh man,
John
you
love it?
guys.
I love it.
Yeah, every time we report on the stocks, everything is either up, 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 or totally crashing and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, last time we had seen some growth. We'd seen some really promising increases, but yeah, that couldn't last because we can't have anything good in our lives, and they've plummeted. This
Wow.
price just plummeted, just like my spirits.
Wow.
Also,
Wow.
I went ahead and threw in a little bit of stock-related news here. GameStop has failed to find a buyer.
Shocker.
I know, right? I know. The snarkiest headline that I saw for this one said that they found out they were worth $26.70 trade-in value.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
That's good.
GameStop's stock has
Wow. Say
Dropped.
that 10 times.
dropped by
Like rubbing your leg.
27%. That is the biggest stock drop in 16 years after their failed effort to sell their company. And they don't have many options left, guys. They don't.
You know what that means, guys?
What does it mean?
Things are gonna be going on sale soon.
Yeah.
Get all your figurines.
I think that this is a good thing for gamers because it's the same thing that's happened in the music industry. Guitar centers were everywhere, and it's like Guitar Center, you know, they were everywhere, and they destroyed all the little mom and pop shops, and all of a sudden, they are going away now, and mom and pop guitar shops are coming up, and it's gonna happen here. Like GameStop was the Guitar Center for game shops, and now in my area alone, there's a bunch of tiny little game shops popping up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that may be true where you live, but where
Well-
I live, that just means we're not going to have any local options besides Walmart. So,
Okay.
Well, coming soon, next week's headline will read GameStack buys out GameStop
For $2.99
for $2.99 plus tax. Canadian.
what
Well,
if we
should we-
did? What if we did buy GameStop? That would be great.
Well, obviously we would change it to GameStack. I mean,
Exactly, and we could just pipe the podcast in through the speakers. People would walk in to buy.
Hey,
their
everybody!
games.
yeah, and we could put cardboard
Welcome
cutouts
to
of Rick in the
GameStack.
front of every store.
We'd get no business.
It'd be so great. Yes, Bone says, "Let's all pool in together." Yes, come on,
We'll-
listeners, we'll start a GoFundMe.
Fund me! Oh man, let's
All right,
get,
guys,
let's
if
get
you're listening-
GameStack.
We need
Oh,
$168 million. Just send it to our PO box.
Oh my gosh!
I guess we should really get that bank account started.
I
eh?
know
Let's
it's
get
definitely
GameStack a new damn
time.
company.
Definitely time to get that bank account.
But you know,
So-
personally, in all seriousness, every time I go, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but every time I go into a GameStop, the place is a trash fire.
Oh, I get a burning sensation.
It's always in disarray. It smells weird. It's dirty. It's never organized. They've got boxes, like they're always unpacking stuff. And I'm like, don't you have a back room? Like, can't you put this stuff like out of the way so I can look at some of your merchandise? It's never really a positive experience.
I go to Just Press Play local.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's clever.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure that I've ever shopped for games in a physical space in which I wasn't asked who I was buying it for.
That sounds like a GameStop employee.
Mhm.
Oh, so you must be buying it for
Yeah.
something else.
Nope, just me. Yep,
Yeah.
So-
I'm an adult.
So,
gamer.
speaking of games that we've purchased and played, what have you been playing, guys?
Vendor.
You go first.
Oh, I go first? All right.
Yeah.
So I teased last week on that Fallout show that I have an epic tale of sea voyage for all of you. And so begins. See, did you see the callback?
Yeah. Mhm.
Hear the callback?
Yeah. Good job.
Yes, explaining the jokes always makes them better.
Yeah.
So no, anyway, so I decided to I actually watched Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, man, I want to be a professional pirate. And I'm going to go play Sea of Thieves. So I came upstairs. My daughter and I were sick on a Monday, I think it was. And I was like, let's go watch me play games. And it's a great excuse for me to play games. And so she's sitting on my lap watching me play this game, and I was like, let's just do. I'm gonna start up, I'll get my little dinghy, and I'll just set sail. I won't pick up a mission. I won't do anything. I'll just go off on my little ship and have a little voyage. So I'm walking around the main island, and I don't know if it was the main. I'm pretty sure it was the main island. I was stocking up for putting cannonballs and boards and bananas in my boat because I figured I'll need them. My banana boat.
Banana
Keep me
boat.
safe from the sun. And I found this bottle, and I popped it open, boop, and inside of it was this half charred riddle. Like the paper was half charred. So I was like, oh, mission is pretty cool. Like, discovery, message in a bottle. So let's sail for the Isle of Ildumwaita or whatever it is. So anyway, I forget what island it was. I think it was like something about falls. And it happened to be in that new map with all the volcanoes. So it was like, let's go sailing. And I set sail, and we're heading out there. And at this point, everything was fine. And it was kind of boring because my daughter was like, what are we doing? She doesn't sound like that. She's like, what's going to happen? Are we just going to sail? Does anything happen in this game, Daddy? And I was like,
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, she's snarky already. She gets that. So we're getting close to the island that I need to go to, and the volcano's erupting. And I was like, zigzag evasive pattern. And for some stupid reason, I thought that I could like get close to the island and somehow the volcano wouldn't hurt.
Oh no.
And so I'm trying to get close to the island, and I'm coming up alongside of it, and I alt tab out to do something, and I alt tab back, and then like it doesn't alt tab back right. And I hear like boulders hitting my boat and water going like and I'm like, what? No, I'm hitting alt tab a bunch of times, and finally I get the game to come back up, and water is at the second deck of my boat. And I run down into it to like go get some boards out, and it's hurting me, so I can't access the board inventory. So I'll be like bailing water. And at this point, somehow I got turned away from the island, and I'm going off in the opposite direction. And I'm bailing water to where I can run down to the barrel, grab some boards out. There's the volcano still pouring down rubble, and I'm trying to board up a couple holes and bail water, board up a couple more holes and bail water. And this goes on for like 5 minutes until I'm out of range of the volcano, and I still haven't patched all the holes. And I run up to the top deck, drop the anchor, so I'm just sitting because I'm like, I don't want to move and get anywhere else. And then I finish bailing the water out and patching up the holes in the ship. And by this point, it's just like a patchwork quilt of wood.
Yeah, it's more patch than boat at this point.
Exactly, yeah. So I look, the volcano's done erupting, and Evie is now like, I do not like volcanoes. Can we leave? And I'm like, no, we're gonna do our mission.
Yeah.
And so I turn the boat around and I sail back to the little island, and I get out on the island and I find the first clue. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm running around. And by the way, my daughter hates skeletons. So I'm walking around, find the first clue.
This is a really, really good choice for your daughter who's feeling bad to just watch. Hates volcanoes, hates skeletons. Good to see these, really considering her feelings in your choice of games here.
Yep.
She must face her fears. By the way, I should let you know, do you guys remember when you were streaming Resident Evil?
Yeah.
She watched that.
Oh.
I didn't know that because she was looking like where her bed was. She could see right into my room. So the next morning, she's like, Daddy. I was like, what? She's like, I saw the monsters. I was like, what monsters, dear? And she's like, on your computer last night, I saw the monsters. And I was like, oh, you were watching that? And she goes, yeah.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
I was like, were you scared? And she's like, no, it's a game.
The Resident Evil 7 stream that we did?
She was fine with it, but she does not like the cartoon skeletons.
Wow, because that was scary.
I know.
There was horrifying, like, piles of gore. Remember the blood toilet?
She told me today that she would rather have more accidents than street signs. She doesn't like stopping, so she's like, I just would rather have more accidents. She was joking, but she's a little morbid.
Wonder where she gets that from.
So on the island, skeletons start popping up out of the ground, and I dispatch them with great fervor and quickness. And so I'm looking for the last clue. It's like at the remains of the parrot play music or something, and I'm looking around and I cannot find it. I have no idea where it's at. I was running around for probably like 10 minutes looking for this stupid last clue. And then the island starts to shake. And then the volcano starts to erupt.
Oh no, not again.
And I was like, we're out of here. Oh, and in the meantime, I did find a chest of grog, which I then she was wondering why I was like walking all funny,
Right.
and I had to explain what being
Oh,
drunk
that's
was.
right.
And then I found a case of the devil's rum. It was like this case full of bottles, and you picked it up and they all clink. And I carried that, put it on my boat, and I have the chest of grog on the boat, and I found like one other like seafarer's chest on the boat. But I was looking for the last clue and I couldn't find it. The freaking volcano starts to erupt.
Oh no.
I'm out of here. So I run to my boat, get on it, set sail, weigh anchor, and I'm going. And I'm getting hit with rubble again. So I'm running downstairs and patching up, and it's just chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm patching and bailing, because I'm still getting hit, I hear this like,
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
I was like, no. And I walk up and I look behind my boat. It's a megalodon. So I'm like, this is awesome. I'm ignoring it. And I like adjust my sails to like full fluff. And I'm repairing and bailing. And this goes on for a while until I'm clear of the volcano, but not clear of the island that's in front of me. And what happened was, between the megalodon, the 2 volcano explosions, I'm down to 10 boards.
Oh.
That's it. I have the chest of grog, which I know is expensive. I have this case of rum, which I don't know what that is. And I have another chest and a skull at this point that I need to turn in. And it's an hour into this journey. And I'm like, I'm turning it in. I'm done. And so it's foggy. I never saw the fog before, but it got foggy. And I'm looking at my map and I'm like, there's an island in front of me. I don't know where it's at. And I close my map and I walk up and I'm on my bow and I look to the starboard and then turn and look to the bow as the island appears out of nowhere, and I'm nail it. And she's like, Daddy, why didn't you turn? She's like, why didn't you avoid the island? And I was like, I'm sorry. And I'm trying, and I'm so far jammed on this island that it takes a while for the boat to slide off. And so like, finally I get it righted again. And I'm sailing in clear water and I'm patching and bailing and patching and bailing. And I'm like, all right, I found an outpost that's out of the volcano area and it's just to the northwest. We'll sail there. So we're sailing and everything is calm. Everything's fine. It's great.
And
then I pull the map up, and around the outpost I've selected is this like skeleton pirate ship logo. Like the outpost is being attacked. So I'm like, well, let's go to the south outpost. We'll turn now, and we're turning. And then I turn back around, and at this point, because I hit the island, I've got 5 boards left. They're in my inventory because I know I'll need them. And we're sailing, and everything's fine. Everything's wonderful. We're going south. We're going to the outpost in the southwest now. It's great. We're away from the volcanoes. And then I hear, and I'm like, I am so done with this game. And I look behind me, and there's the megalodon. And then all of a sudden, I hear a chomp, and my boat scoots forward really fast. And I run to the back of my boat, and there are 5 holes on the stern. And I'm like, no!
5 holes and 5 boards.
So I throw the boards up real quick, and I'm bailing. And it's still attacking me, and I'm shooting it at this point because I'm just so angry. And I'm bailing, and I shoot it, and I'm bailing, and I'm shooting. And I'm not patching any of the more of the holes because I just don't have any more. And so finally I get to the outpost, and I get so close to the outpost that it leaves me alone. I drop anchor, and the ship just does the whole like 180 turn. And I run on the island, and I find some boards, and I run back to my ship, and I patch it real quick. So I'm like, all right, at least it's not going to sink while I'm turning in my kit. So I get the chest of grog. I walk that warily up the island and turn that in. I walk back to the ship, grabbed my skull and I turned that one in, and I walked back to the ship and grabbed my seafarer's chest, and I turned that in, and I was like, I feel like I've got something else. I thought there was something else that was new. Oh, right, the rum bottles. So I walked back to the rum bottles and picked them up, and when I pull them up to my, when you pick up a chest, you see it in first person. When I pick up the chest of rum bottles, they're all broken.
Oh no!
So they got broken,
I was like,
somehow,
yeah,
by
because
a
between the volcanoes and the two megalodons, they somehow got broken.
interesting.
And I was like, fine, dropped them and just logged off. But it was
That's actually happened to me in real life.
It was a 2-hour long journey of just utter everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And it was so funny to see, like, my daughter, she's 6, so she's not stupid, but she doesn't have a lot of frame of reference for games and things. And at least like Sea of Thieves, like she can play Destiny and things.
Right.
But like, so she's watching this game for like probably the first or second time, maybe third. And she's watching all this go down, and she's exhausted. She's like, does that happen every time, basically? And I was like, no, it's just my luck. Before, when the game first started, I was talking to her. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to sail. I want to learn how to sail. I just love sailing. I've always wanted to be on a sailboat. And like after that, she's like, she literally was like, I don't know why you'd ever want to be a pirate. After seeing that, and I was like, but it's not always like, never mind. It was
That's just what it's like when I play pirate games.
She's like, I don't know why you'd ever want to go sailing. And
I
I'm
love
like, but
how
it's
much
not.
your daughter judges you.
I know. Well, she's
Gosh.
logical. Like, so when she sees two things that juxtapose each other, she will point them out and be like, I don't understand, this and this. It doesn't make any sense. And then I'm left usually looking like a dunce.
That's cool because she keeps it real.
Oh, she does. She keeps me in check, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. It's funny how she's like not afraid of Resident Evil, but
No.
Sea of Thieves.
She does not like
Right?
the skeletons.
Man, Resident Evil, that was some horrifying stuff.
Like, even I was like, Shalene, turn it off. I can't watch anymore.
It
She,
was hard to get through, and this little
Yeah.
girl was watching it.
I don't know. She's watched Fallout and completely been fine.
Yeah.
Like, just
Fallout can be pretty
fine.
scary too.
Well, with the
especially.
ghouls.
Yeah.
But yeah, skeleton, she's just not a fan of. Like, did I ever tell you about the let me see its face phase she was in?
Yes.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know this story, when she was 3 or so, I would play Skyrim, and she loved bow and arrow. Like, she watched Brave. She's like, I'm a bow and arrow girl. That was just her thing for a long time. And so every time I would shoot someone with a bow and arrow and like kill them, she'd be like, oh, let me see their face. Every time. It was amazing. So yeah, so she watched me play that Sea of Thieves voyage, and it was like the first time stepping into Sea of Thieves in like months, and it was just this crazy epic journey, and it did end in victory, kind of, minus the rum. The rum was gone
Why's the rum always gone?
because we're attacked by everything. So it's very Pirates of the Caribbean in that regard. So you'll never guess, I've got this reputation, I think, of saying games are stupid and then buying them or playing them. And I've done this with ESO. My wife installed it, and I was watching Sarah play, and I was like, I should try this out again. It looks fun. And I couldn't really remember why I stopped playing it. And then eventually I remembered it was server issues. So I started a new character, kind of a paladin type heavy armor character, and I've been playing it for a while. I took the laptop with me on my work trip this past week, and just played ESO every single night when I got back to the hotel. And even on their crappy Wi-Fi, no server issues, no lag, no lag whatsoever. And it was really fun exploring the world of Tamriel again. And it just reminded me how much I loved the Elder Scrolls lore and Tamriel and just all of the crazy like lore behind it. And it just really brought me back into the game. And the game is not as immersive as Skyrim or Oblivion or Morrowind, that is for sure. But it is certainly fun to play and kind of, watch Mannimarco become the reputation that he was in Skyrim and in some of those other games. When you read about him in the books, in Molag Bal and all the stuff that happens with him and trying to bring Oblivion onto onto Tamriel and merge those planes. So I've been playing a lot of that, and I can't wait to get back up to speed with the game where I can pull up my level 50 character and kind of play her with the same uh, knowledge that I had when I created her. Because I had like this whole rotation down. She had high DPS, and I was kind of playing her. I was leveling up her to be like a raid build, so I could raid with a guild that I'm no longer associated with for some weird reason. And so I've been playing ESO. And Shalene, I finally went back to the cabin in God of War.
Yes! Thank you!
I finally did.
Now
And
you've finished the game.
I did finish the game. I think you built it up a little bit more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And also, my wife started listening to this podcast that tells old stories but translates them into English or nowadays. And apparently she was listening to one episode that was all about Norse and Viking lore.
That's
talking
awesome.
about Ragnarok and Thor, and I'm like, now I gotta go listen to that because I played God of War.
Huh.
You know?
That is really cool.
So
That's
you know there was a God of War podcast?
a Warcast, a God of Warcast?
Yeah, it was called the Lost Norse, the stories of Norse myth, or Lost Norse myth. I don't remember.
What is this?
I don't
What is
remember,
the name
but
of
it
the
was-
podcast?
I don't know. I can't remember. The Lost Stories of Norse Myth, I think. But it was like background lore for like Brock and Sindri and that kind of thing. So
Because
it
wasn't
was
the
really
lore
cool. You
that
should
they
check it out.
wasn't the lore that they used in God of War like pretty accurate to what the actual lore is?
They did change some things, but it's all based in actual Norse lore. The Lost Pages of Norse Myth. Thank you, Joseph Tao.
Gotcha.
That's what it's called. It was good. I enjoyed
Of
it.
course, Joseph Tao would know that.
I
I'm
also
not surprised.
recommend a book for you. It's called Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, and it's just basically, Norse mythology stories.
Neil Gaiman from The Mighty Boosh?
I've never heard of that.
The Mighty Boosh.
Neil Gaiman is he's an author. He writes books.
I'm gonna have to go to the Googles. But I'm done with my gameplay, so I can do other things now. Bye.
Vendertron, what have you been
See you
playing?
later. Not much. I've been playing Data Simulator,
Mm-hmm.
analyzing data for my thesis, trying to sift through 22,765 patient files.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my gameplay for the week.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. Still haven't got to the end though.
Yeah. Well, I hear there's a post-credit scene that's pretty good. So.
I sure as hell hope there's post-credit.
You and your post-credit stuff.
Yeah. I guess that's a thing, isn't it?
I guess so.
I just gotta pass the boss level. That's the defense, you guys. It's gonna be a real mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But literally, like yesterday, so on Thursdays I don't go into the office, but I got up early. I'm like, I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna do some data analysis. I got up at 6 a.m. and I programmed and wrote code until 9 p.m. or 9:30.
What kind of code?
Like R, C++, Python.
Really?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
nice.
Anyways, yeah. So, what did you play, Shalene?
Well, I've got a big old list here because it's been like a month since I've been on a Gamestack. So I just wanted to mention briefly that I finally beat Breath of the Wild. I talked about that for years. It feels like for years. I played this game. I didn't really do any of the story. I just ran around making mushroom soup and finding clothes, and that was what I lived for in Breath of the Wild. But I sat down and I just powered through all of the divine beasts. I finished the story mode. It was really good. Man, that game was fantastic. Really, really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. So that was a good experience. 2 years later, beating Breath of the Wild.
Every time I hear Breath of the Wild, I think of like some caveman's really bad breath
like
seeping out everywhere.
Breath of the
Oh
Wild.
man, that's funny. Breath of the Wild. I'm sure there are some
You're welcome.
pretty
It's
bad.
ruined. It's ruined for
So-
all of you now.
The Legend of Zelda Halitosis.
Yeah, that's good.
I got a new game. This was my first anticipated game of the year. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. And for our audio folks, Rick is doing the face palm over there. He can't handle this game title.
Mm-mm. I
So,
don't get it.
No More Heroes was a series on the Wii. No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. And they were two of my favorite games on the Wii. And go ahead.
Can we just admit that game titles are getting absolutely ridiculous now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. And this is probably not the most ridiculous game title on my list so far. But No More Heroes, I loved this series on the Wii. I loved it. It was basically just kind of a beat 'em up. You know, you play as this guy. You have a lightsaber that you won on an eBay auction, basically, and you become an assassin now that you have this lightsaber. And it's this ridiculous story with ridiculous bosses, and it's so fun. It's super fun. And they made really inventive use of the Wiimote back in the Wii days. Like, they would call you, and you'd have to hold the Wiimote up to your ear, you know, with the little speaker on the Wiimote. And you actually couldn't hear, you know, the story if you didn't do that, if you didn't answer the phone with your Wii.
That's funny.
And this is what I was talking about. So the battery on the lightsaber has to be recharged, which you do by shaking the lightsaber. And the animation of the character is exactly what you're imagining it is, Rick. Like, they don't even try to make it coy. Like,
Is
it's
it like the shake weight?
yeah, it's yeah. And that's pretty much what it looks like for the player, you know, shaking the Wiimote. And it's the same thing in Travis Strikes Again, just with the Joy-Cons. You know, you can shake the Joy-Con.
I secretly think it's like game developers trolling us.
I think it absolutely is.
You don't say.
Yeah.
But Travis Strikes Again is pretty fun. It's kind of scaled down for the Switch. You know, it definitely feels like you're not... it doesn't feel as epic and cinematic as the other games did. It is just as Japanese and weird, which I love, you know. Sometimes I love to play weird games, and this is absolutely a game that scratches that itch. They made a strange decision to... Don't.
It's a game that
Never mind.
takes that weight.
They made a strange decision to kind of letterbox the game, which is weird. There's stuff on the game screen, on the Switch screen, so it's a square and not the same aspect ratio. It's really strange. Like, you're already dealing with a very small screen. Why would they make it smaller? You know? That's a strange choice. I don't like that. But the game is fun to play. There's the story is not really as fun as it was in the previous games in the series, which is disappointing. But it is a ton of fun to play. It's very arcadey, and it's gorgeous. The game looks really good. It's very stylistic, and I enjoy it. So, Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. I won a Nintendo Switch gift card in a Facebook giveaway, which I was really excited about. It was $20. I was very excited. So I picked up a copy of Don't Starve for the Switch. And I don't know if you guys ever played Don't Starve.
Is this Don't Starve Together?
It's the same thing. It's just Don't Starve Together is when you play, you know, with people.
Interestingly enough. Go ahead,
Go ahead, Rick.
No,
No,
go ahead.
go.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you
Go.
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 No,
Go.
after you.
Go.
No, I'm sorry. Go
Go.
ahead. Go. No,
Go.
please, by all means.
Go.
I insist. I insist.
I insist.
No, you go
Go.
first.
Go.
So you guys, I stopped recording about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, another segment of the show that we will and will not edit out. I don't even remember what I was going to say now.
Don't starve.
You forgot too.
No, I didn't.
No, you first. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. No, my wife was just telling me that tomorrow night she has a Don't Starve Together party planned for like 5 people are getting together and playing this game.
Oh,
Really?
That's so cool.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
It's just kind of ironic that like she keeps like
Aw.
dancing around Ark. She's like, I'm gonna play Minecraft and I'm gonna play Don't Starve Together, and I'm like,
Oh my
just
God.
play Ark.
We need to get her on Arc.
I know.
Oh, it would be so glorious.
By the way, that's like a perfect description of how she sounds.
Oh, okay. Good. I was gonna say I have played Don't Starve Grad Student Edition. Except in that game you do starve most of
Yes.
the time.
You
Is the
actually
DLC
starve.
ramen noodles?
Yeah.
It's for my in the chat said during our "You Go First." She's like, "This is a Canadian standoff."
Oh man, that's so great.
Yeah.
So I played Don't Starve, and this game, I've played it before. I've played it on PC. I've played it on, I think, PS4, PS3, some PlayStation platform I've played it on. It's really good. And it's a very good fit for the Switch. I'm actually a little scared that I got it on the Switch. It's going to take over my life. This is a very addictive game. It's a very, very addictive game. And I love how kind of dark and also hilarious it is at the same time. Such a good game. Really, really good. So I was attacked by spiders. It was terrifying. I ran away. Ate a bunch of carrots. You know, I built a fire. So good. I love Don't Starve. So that's something that I anticipate playing quite a bit in the future. This is the week of me playing the first 2 hours of a bunch of games. Because I also played Monster Hunter, World. And it turns out World is not the worst world out there. It's pretty good.
No, well, yeah.
Pretty good. So yeah, I actually got gifted a copy of Monster Hunter by Tim Twig.
Oh, cool.
And it's really great. It's super over the top. And that's something that I like about it. I played for 2 or 3 hours. I spent at least half of that time in character creation. It was really fun building my character. And then you get to build a cat, basically, like an anthropomorphic cat who is your little assistant in the game. He goes into battle with you, and you can put little tiny cat armor on it. It's so cute. It's so cute. And there's a hub world where you live there. There's a forge where you can build and upgrade weapons and armor. And there's a canteen where you can get food that gives you buffs to go out on your missions. Yeah, the cat creature is called a palico. But it's a cat. It's a cat. Anthropomorphic cat. So
Okay.
it's so cute. I made it look like my favorite cat from childhood. So that was fun. But you go to the canteen, right, to get these food items that give you buffs to go on missions. And it is prepared by a team of cat chefs. It's amazing. Oh, it's amazing. So the main cat chef looks like this grizzled pirate cat, kind of. He's got like an earring and a little do-rag because he's a chef. And these cats cook you this amazing feast. And it's a huge platter.
Is it a fancy feast?
It is a fancy feast.
I broke her. Yes.
But the food looks really good. Joseph Tao says the food looks so good. It really does, Joseph. The food looks amazing.
I feel like this is not a game that Rick should play.
Not at all. Because I'll bet you that Hub World doesn't have a colon in it.
Oh dear.
And the
So
continuity would annoy me.
it's like a huge platter of food, and the cats bring it and just slam this huge platter of food in front of you, and your character just digs in. It's amazing. It's so zany and ridiculous. So far, the gameplay is pretty fun. I haven't done too many missions. I haven't gotten to do a co-op mission yet. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm glad that I tried this game. This isn't... I'm not sure I would have ever tried it if I hadn't received it as a gift. And it's really cool.
Cool.
I'm also playing the new Pocket Camp update. So I know you guys are tired of hearing about Pocket Camp. I'm sorry. But listeners out there in listener land... Joseph Tao has derailed me. He says, which weapon are you using? I'm using the 2 swords right now. I don't think I like it. I think I'm going to switch to the Buster Sword. There's
Buster Sword?
Yeah, it's like a giant sword.
I stole that from Final Fantasy VII. Is this Square Enix?
Absolutely. I'm sure it is. It's Capcom. It's a Capcom game, but I'm sure it was stolen. There's a character who's like the kind of the like your guide in terms of like fighting monsters. And I think it's Nolan North doing the voice acting. It sounds like Nolan North. But he's got this massive sword on his back. It's like bigger than he is. And I think I'm going to switch to one of those because the 2 swords is not super fun so far. But the Pocket Camp update. Guys, this one it really brought a lot of quality of life updates. You can do a round of Pocket Camp in half the time that it took before. So I really recommend, if you're somebody who maybe didn't have as much time for Pocket Camp, now's a good time to go ahead and pick it up again. So that's all I'm going to say about Pocket Camp. Still adorable. Love it so much. Recently I was in the mood to play something scary. Oh. And I was thinking about getting like a Resident Evil game or something.
Oh boy.
And then I thought, you know what, Shalene? Do not spend money on a game that you're going to quit an hour in, that you know you're not going to be able to finish. Don't do it.
Resident Evil, you'll quit 10 minutes in.
So I actually picked up Hellblade again. Hellblade is on Game Pass, and I thought I could go for the Hellblade achievements. And yeah, I can confirm that Hellblade is still scary the second time through. I played a couple hours of Hellblade, still scary, still excellent. And I'm still plugging away at Assassin's Creed Liberation on my quest to catch up on the Assassin's Creed series. This game is so good. I really, really enjoy it. I went through this quest line where, you have to wear different outfits in this game. This one, you had to wear the lady's dress. And I got ambushed. I had to knife fight a bear. It was amazing. All while wearing a fancy dress. And I really enjoyed that. And yeah, that's my gameplay. Sorry, I kind of went long.
It's okay. Oh man, wow! I'm living vicariously through you guys.
Shall we do some emails?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Who wants to take the first one?
I'll take it.
Why don't you take the first one?
The first one's from Joseph Tao. He says, for games like Kingdom Hearts 3 that are based on nearly a dozen games across multiple generations and platforms, how can people actually review it in a way that is applicable to the average person looking to buy the game? The reviewer is going to fall into one of several groups of either being a super fan that has played all or most of the games and knows the weird story inside and out, or they may have only played the main games, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and now 3. Which isn't going to explain even half of the story, or someone playing on Kingdom Hearts 3 without any context who is going to be confused, or some will just complain about the Disney incorporation into the story like some reviewers have done in the past. How can the scores even be useful for a game like this? I think game reviews and scoring games is just bogus.
Yeah.
In general. I think that there's no rigor to it.
I think scores are absolutely a bad thing when it comes to game reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't add anything productive. But I think it's important that we have multiple different types of people reviewing a game like this. That we do have the super fan review and the review from somebody like me who's never played one before. And I think you should seek out reviews based on your experience. If I'm thinking about jumping in, I'd like to read a review from somebody who maybe hasn't played all this background and doesn't have this context. that's going to represent my experience. Somebody like you who's played all of these games is going to want to read a review from somebody else who's played all of the games. You know, it's important that we have variety.
I think perspective is power in this situation. It doesn't matter who you are or what you think. However you approach the game is how you approach it. And like, I think somebody can go into Kingdom Hearts 3 and have a great time and love the game, and maybe end up playing 2 and 1 in reverse order or in any order that they please and still love it. That said, other people, they want things in order. They want to know what's going on. They want to know the reviews and all there is to know about the game in depth. Some people are just like that. So,
Well, like with God of War, one of the things that I did was I went back and I watched a YouTube video to catch up on the story so far.
I did the same thing.
And the other side of that coin is, for someone reviewing like Kingdom Hearts 3 without playing the other two, will give you a very, like you were saying, Shalene, to reiterate that, an unbiased review based on nostalgia alone. So it is good to have all these different multifaceted reviews out there. You know, people who are super fans and people who aren't. But yeah, I think it's interesting because he's right. Going forward, there's so many sequels now. You know, people who played the first one aren't necessarily going to. You know, people who haven't played the first one are reviewing, you know, the latest ones.
Right.
yeah.
So yeah.
Huh. Well, it's interesting. Rick, you want to take the next email?
I do. This one is from Tibor. Hey, Shalene, Rick, and Vendertron. I decided to write in here as well, as you are doing such a great show. Wow.
We've got an English as a second language situation here. So
right, I have a hard time speaking it. So I'm catching up, listening one new and one old one just to be in for the latest ones as well. Hopefully I will be able to do the challenges at some point. Us too. As you mentioned previously about your love.
where were all these people when we had the challenges?
Don't know. It's just you don't know what you have until it's gone, and now it's gone. So deal with it. If you want challenges,
go to that Fallout show because we've got a stack of challenges.
We do. We have a game stack of challenges on that Fallout show. Anyway, as you mentioned previously about your love and hate for subtitles in video games, it is something that I always turn on, being a non-English speaker by default. I still maybe you should change the default setting. No. I still remember the days of playing Fallout 1 and Baldur's Gate when my English knowledge was minimal and having text written down helped a lot to find words in the dictionary. Yes, I died in Fallout a lot. Who hasn't? I remember when having a voiceover was quite a premium feature. Also, I generally played games with lengthy conversations. But I'm definitely not sure that any non-English gamer appreciates the help it provides. I mainly thank my language knowledge the fact that virtually nothing got translated to Hungarian.
Oh,
and I'm so
no.
happy for it. Jeez. Have you guys ever tried any of the Supergiant games such as Bastion, Transistor, Pyre, and there will be a new release soon called Hades? And he gives us the link to the trailer. They're such great games with good stories and amazing music and art. The Bastion really reminds me of the Dark Tower book series in mood and feel, which I know Shalene likes as well. Can we get a section for game-related book recommendations? It's like deja vu. I think we've done that before. It was fun in the past. Still checking in on Shalene's Goodreads page occasionally. Great to hear Vendor is into cyclocross and researched kids' diabetes and can relate to both very much. Rick, never stop doing the weird sounds that you make. Michael Winslow's character from Police Academy is one of my heroes. Nice. And also I can relate to being that guitarist in a band. Oh, okay. That guitarist. I cannot really partake in the live shows, but if any chance that the Super Mega Baseball 2 game comes back as a winnable and the winner would have it already, please. Oh, I guess that's a game we gave away at one point. Which I like the name. See, that's a name.
Yeah.
Super Mega Baseball 2.
That just rolls right off the tongue.
I know exactly what that game is.
No colons there.
No colons. No redo
colon.
editions.
Yeah.
It's just Super Mega Baseball 2, not the. So
2
it's
3/4
perfect.
dream drop distance.
The only 2 3/4 things that anything can get away with was Naked Gun. What was it? Naked Gun 2.25 was the one sequel they did.
Mm.
Anyway, also, as you guys keep mentioning your love for the God of War series, which I have never tried being a PC gamer, now let me include a link here, which was one from the God of War 3 soundtrack, which was really good and really heavy soundtrack. One of my favorite bands, Trivium. I didn't realize they were on that soundtrack. They have recorded the music / video while playing the unreleased game and figuring out the feel for it. Click if you like some metal, which I do. Anyway, it's getting lengthy again. Keep on doing what you're doing. Never stop. A Hungarian fan from the UK. Tibble. RTZ. I know my name occasionally makes people giggle. I should use my middle name, which is Zoltan. Really?
The best.
That's fantastic.
What a great name, huh?
You should wear a toga and like shoot lightning bolts or something.
Absolutely.
By
Thank
the
you
way-
so much for writing in.
Yeah, I am so I've genuinely been thinking about picking up a second language, because it just amazes me how people can just get by in English, like it's nothing to someone to get by in English, and it's like impossible for me to say anything in any other language.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very well written email, but I never thought about subtitles like that for people who have like maybe like live in like
Yeah.
Hungarian. Like who's going to translate the Hungarian,
Yeah.
I never thought of the importance of subtitles in that regard.
I
So,
know
Yeah,
if
I
I ever
wonder-
try to like watch the Spanish telenovelas, I do a lot better if I
you have
watch it
Tourette's?
with
Is that
subtitles.
Tourette's?
Yes. But if I ever try to watch the telenovelas, I do a lot better if I turn on the subtitles than if I just listen to them talk.
Aren't they
I
quick,
have more
like super
success.
fast?
Yes, they speak very fast. So-
I also never thought about like subtitles helping someone learn English or
Mhm.
a different language.
Well, it's funny because like my partner's Filipino, right?
Right.
And like his family speaks Tagalog, and I know
What?
enough Tagalog. It's
Oh.
a Filipino dialect. There's Tagalog, and then there's Ilocano, and anyways, I know enough now that like I kind of know when they're talking about me, and like sometimes they'll say the prao, which means the white, and I'm like, hey, I know what you're saying.
They should start
Oh,
calling you the
man.
ginge.
They
That's
call me
great.
the prao.
That's
Oh, I
awesome.
shouldn't have said that on air.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Now
I
everyone's
think that's
gonna be calling me the prao.
it's
Yeah.
endearing. Vendors on the prow.
No, it's not that kind of. Oh, you gotta
That's
roll
great.
the.
No, I'm glad you shared that story.
It's
Yeah.
endearing.
So
Yeah.
if you're exposed to it enough, I would really like to learn Dutch
Oh my gosh. Why? All the vowel sounds.
because it's such a cool language. I worked with this Dutch woman, and we always used to
You-
bug her because she
you
had such a
speak one?
thick Dutch accent. But
Work well with the Dutch because I used to be one.
yeah,
Did-
yeah.
so
So that's the thing.
on that note, Vendor, I saw an article that Dutch kids learn their language later than other languages because of all of like the guttural and vowel sounds that are involved in it.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So have you guys ever played any of those Supergiant games? Bastion,
No.
Transistor? I played the first hour of Transistor. It wasn't for me. It was beautiful. It was a gorgeous game, but I didn't think it was very fun to play. So,
I like the names of the games.
the music was great. The art was really good. I didn't enjoy the gameplay. So,
Ah.
yeah. And as for book recommendations, is that something that you listeners want? Write in, send me tweets, let me know if that's something you're interested in.
I always enjoyed it.
Okay, well, maybe we could bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Step aside Gamestack challenge. Hello. Book.
Goodreads.
Book stack.
Goodreads.
Bookstack.
Bookstack. There we go.
Okay, so Bookstack. That's all we have there. We got a couple of emails today, but we'll have to
A
leave them
couple?
until next time. We did. We got 3 emails today.
Got a bunch.
It was crazy. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So yeah.
So,
Cool.
Vendertron?
I have.
What are you having a stroke in the show notes here?
Oh God.
He's having
I
a
just-
keystroke in the comments.
So I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, that's getting funny. God, the dad's jokes are so strong. I came to the stupidest realization the other day. The Arc server doesn't cap at 10. Like it's a 10 slot server,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
meaning that there can only be 10 people on at a given time.
Oh.
Not that it's 10 people total who can go there?
That's exactly right.
So what you're saying is
So what I'm saying is, Mrs. McVick, is that we got room for you on the Ark.
she would have to listen to the show to hear that.
We're just gonna, sink Rick's boat and make room for yours.
What?
I'm kidding.
Don't you touch my boat.
But seriously though, if you guys are interested in joining the Arc server, that is and always has been open. And usually we only ever have like max 6 people on at a time. So
Yeah. And you can
4
play with
Mile in
Carrie.
Chat says, so you're saying there's a chance.
so you're telling me there's a chance.
And you can play with Carrie if you join the server.
Yeah. Also, good news on Carrie's score. She's got her computer back up and running.
Yay.
Actually, get this, you guys. She's running off a Shadow PC. Have you heard of this?
Mm-mm.
No.
A Shadow PC. This is going to blow your mind. A Shadow PC basically is like a virtual computer that is like top notch, like the best graphics you can get. And like you don't have to run it on this crazy system and you pay like a monthly fee.
Nice.
So she pays, it's like £20 a month or something like that. And she can run Arc on her MacBook on Ultra.
Wow.
And so she's playing Arc on her MacBook, and I
Very
guess
cool.
it's awesome. So yeah, anyways, she moved, by the way. She's down on the peninsula by Archon and Raptor.
Oh, I was like, she moved like.
Not from the UK. No, I mean,
She
well, maybe
moved
with
an arc.
Brexit. I don't know.
She
but-
moved
That's
her
why, like,
base.
She moved next to Archon. I was like, what?
Yeah, no. So she's down in the peninsula. And the last I heard, she was building her big girl base.
That's what she said.
So she's gonna.
That's great.
Yeah, it's so fun to play with her. She's just so chill. So I'm excited. I hope that I get a chance to play with her this weekend, maybe, or with everybody else as well. Hopefully, we can all get on together sometime
Mhm.
soon. Yeah.
Great. So speaking of this weekend, we've got some plans. It's going to be fun times. Saturday, Resident Evil 2 stream, Rick and myself. I'm already scared. I'm already like nervous about this. Yeah.
I feel like we have to, since they don't do the classic Resident Evil like menu thing. Like back in the day when you would click start, it would just pop on and be like Resident Evil 2. And I feel like now that in order to do anytime we talk about it, we have to be like, so today we're playing Resident Evil 2. And that's what we've got to do.
All right, you feel free. You do it. You do
No,
it,
you gotta
buddy.
do it
You do.
too.
Okay, Resident Evil 2. It's
See,
not the
what-
same. It's
See,
not
When
the
you
same.
say it, it's like sincere. Like I'm like,
Yeah,
"Aw,
like, I'm a
aw."
soprano, bro. Like I can't pull that off.
Aw.
All right, fine.
So yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. If you miss it live, we will post the archive so you can catch it later.
I cannot wait.
And on Sunday, we will return to Life is Strange 2, Vendor and myself, for Days of Our Life is Strange
Hey.
at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm very excited.
Mhm.
Yes, we're going to see what's happening.
So get your pajamas and your Kleenex, because this one's gonna
popcorn.
be a doozy.
I am I already feel the anxiety just filling my body for the decisions, the terrible, terrible decisions that we are going to have to make because these developers, they pull our heartstrings.
Yep.
You should just change the name of your streams for this to how many people will we kill this time?
No, Days of Our Life is Strange is the best.
Oh,
Cool.
it's so good.
Cool.
So good. And on next Friday, you can join us for an episode of That Fallout Show. So we hope you will. And we would love it if you would email us, just like Tiber did, at info@wejustlovegames.com. Info@wejustlovegames.com. We love reading your emails, and we would love to see some more. Twitter is another good place to connect with us. We are We Just Love Games on Twitter. Shalene L is me, Rick McVick is Rick, and Vendertron N is Vendertron. If you have any trouble with spellings, it's all linked on the We Just Love Games Twitter, so you can find us there. Mm-hmm. Facebook, if you are a Facebook person, facebook.com/We Just Love Games, facebook.com/groups/We Just Love Games. We've got a Discord server, which is basically just the live chat forever, just never ending. You can find a link to the Discord on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/We Just Love Games, also on our Twitter page, or you can just send any of us a message. We'll drop you that link. We record live every Friday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And we also post the show on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, coming soon to Alexa.
Some point.
It's someday. We've got it inscribed on stone tablets that you can find. It's in skywriting occasionally.
Let's hope that Moses doesn't take them down and smash them. Something.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, well, Moses doesn't like Don't Starve, so that's sorry. Please like, subscribe, and review to the show. Share this show with your friends. Help us grow. Help us find new audience. We love ya. So we have a last word?
Yeah, thank God. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Me too.